Ah!
Non-gone!
Hello there and welcome to my channel. This is Non-Gone and today we're playing Katamari Forever on the PS3. This is part 2 in a full walkthrough guide speed platinum playthrough. Hopefully you can use these strategies and improve on my time if you want to play this game. It's a great game. We're going to get right into it. In the first video we did all of the introductory stuff and like a basic map of the route and then started the single player level walkthroughs. We did the tutorial level and then the first 7 Make a Star levels, and we're going to continue on with that and see if we can finish it up today. So we're going to start this video with Make a Star 8. This one's not so much about specific routes as it is staying in locations until you're certain sizes. What's also rare is that we're going to get the Broken Heart right away and use it to get to 20 centimeters in the first area. Can't come back, so you might as well get it now. Drop down into the lower area and get to 50 and then get out of there. And then head over and get whatever's growing in the farm. Head down to the lower town and start rolling around there till you're about 1.3, and then head back up the farm and across the bridge to the starting area to get some more size. Back down to the lower town, and then when you get to about 3.5 meters, run over and grab your Broken Heart, and then you can pretty much pick up whatever you want. As for items, this is actually really sparse. There's only about 6 things. Velvet's in the starting area here, hiding from the coffee cup. The present is up on top of the microwave. You'll have to jump to get it. As soon as you come into the second area after the 20 centimeter barrier, drop down to the street and head left, and you'll get a senior driver sign. There's only 2. The next 2 things are in this area too, but you want to go down to the town until you're about close to 1.5 to come back. The Twinkle is sitting on top of the Christmas tree right here, and the park name is right here by the test tube, so make sure you get those. And the second present is in the schoolyard, and that's it for items. Make a Star 9 is next, and we're starting to get real big, but we start real small right under this sumo's legs here. The fruit shelves are good, other flowers are good. Stay in this first area until you're 5 or 6 meters before you go over the 3 meter barrier. Run around the town a little bit until you're about 10, and then grab the Broken Heart in the center and do a rampage around there until it'll get you up a lot of levels. You don't want to leave the 12 meter barrier until you're like 30 or 40 meters, so go ahead and pick up what you can, and then roll around the airport area and the city area until you're about 80. You can go over the 60 meter barrier then. Kind of head for the ice islands here. That will give you a lot of size, and when you're about 200, go ahead and go up this little rock here and pick up your second Broken Heart. That should take you pretty close to 400. If not, pick up whatever islands you need and then hop off the back here. And from there, you're pretty much home free. Just roll through each island successively and pick up whatever's on the island, and eventually the islands themselves. You'll get big enough to pick up clouds and tornadoes and whirlpools and everything like that, and just keep charging around, picking up what you see until you're done. The route is easy, but the items are not. There are 19 of them, and you'll need a couple of playthroughs, so we'll try to go smallest to largest here. In the first area, if you go straight from where you start and turn left at the end, you'll get to a red hydrangea and a blue hydrangea. You can hug the edge and jump up through the farm to get to these trees. Circling around there by the chandeliers is a fairy. She will disappear when you level up twice, so you'll have to get her early. Down by the sailboats is Shikeo, the first cousin, and right up here on this little ramp on the building on the roof is the first present. And once you're a little bit bigger, you can get the governor over here by the sumos and the swing over here by the mansion. The next section is right after the 3 meter barrier. You want to go right into the water to get a giant jellyfish. Head further out by the pier here to get the beer garden sign. And then as you're rolling around, Signolo is the second cousin and will be directing traffic right in the intersection. If you sit right here, Santa's sleigh will come by with the second present in this level as well, and that's it for that section. Once you get above 12 meters, you want to kind of head out towards the amusement park, and when you get to this arch by the Hollywood sign, there will be a garden here. Head a little bit further along and you'll see a unique truck hiding behind all the other trucks, and it's called Uniquely Truck. So make sure you pick that special one up. Another alert from the future, things I missed on my practice run. There's 4 signs over here by the 3 meter barrier, and then also make sure to get both parts of the roller coaster before you get too big in the amusement park. And then as you head back towards the 12 meter barrier, the training room is hiding right here by the rich house. You may have to get a little bigger to get the rich house too, but that'll pretty much do it for that one. As you're coming up back around this area before you leave the 60 meter barrier, you want to get Peso, who is flying around on a plane on the airport here. And then you want to go to the amusement park and go to this little building right here, and the third present will be right there as well. Odeko will be poking out of the Oasis after the 60-meter barrier, and that just leaves one cousin and one present. The cousin is Nai, and they're on the Titanic, which is, gosh, it's the boat that sunk over here. Too soon? I don't know. And the fourth present, you got to be real big. It's on the red volcano up in the crater there. So that's it for Make a Star 9. Make a Star 10 is just the town level from the original game, so you'll recognize this if you played it. Just get the batteries, but not the cheese under the car. You don't want the rats chasing you. And then the sidewalk area and the grassy areas where you want to roll around till you're 20 centimeters. At that point, pick up this line of milk cartons, this line of milk cartons, and then charge through the forks and pick up this line of milk cartons. Go left to get the ring of orange juice canisters or whatever they are, and then head left around the, or counterclockwise around the sandcastle. You want to be about 35 centimeters when you come in here. Picking up the pigs and the bricks will get you to 45, and then just loop around the sidewalk again and head down to the lower town. From here, you can either go straight through the shop or you can go to the right and pick up a line of items. Whatever it is, make sure you're about 90 when you hit this bridge. You go into the farm and get some size, and then across the river here and get the shops to 1.5. As soon as you get 1.5, I would do a lap around the road. That's a good place to get to like 4-ish or so. And then back into the shop is good, or pretty much wherever you want to go. You can get the broken heart on the island whenever you want. It'll disappear by the time you need it. So once you get to 5 meters, though, head up into the construction site and roll around there. And then on the outside of the road, there's a stack of cars that you want to pick up. Once you get to about 9, you can start picking up trees, and that'll take you to 12, at which point you can get buildings, which will then get you much bigger. And by then, you probably know what to do. So that's it for 10. 16 unique items to get and Make a Star 10. When you get to 50 centimeters before you go to the lower area, head over by the sandcastle here to get the water pump ad, and then head right over by this fence to get the cream puff ad. From there, you grind the ground here at about 60 centimeters to get the iron cover, and then the steel cover right next to it. Hook around the sidewalk, and the concrete cover is kind of hiding over here by that broken heart that we're not going to get. The police signboard is back by the first 2 covers. You need to be about 71 centimeters to grab that. And that should do it for the top part. Once you drop down, head left. There's a mask store and a wall with masks on it. The V yellow one and the thief's mask are unique. Make sure you get all the other ones. They will disappear quickly. Also, the first present is right across the street from there in the little tent area. And that's it for the first area. When you cross the 1.5 meter barrier, you want to head around on the street here. The second present will be rolling around, and Can, the cousin, will be on the Stevie truck. Also, on this telephone pole right here, you want to jump up and grab that telephone pole ad. It will disappear before you're big enough to pick it up regular. Also, right by the construction site, you want to get the RF radiation sign off the wall. And as soon as you hit 5 meters, come up into the construction site, grab this water tank sign, and then roll behind the town to get this town map. And that leaves only one other item, which is the red doghouse. It's not particularly hard to get. It doesn't move or anything, but you got to be particular about the size. So at exactly 13 meters, come up where the town map was and roll up the silo that had the elephant on it. You can see a little dot hiding under there, and that's the red doghouse. It's the only one in the game, and it will disappear really quickly at this size. So make sure you get that, and then we'll move on to the next one. Make a Star 11 is next. I never did come up with a good route. There's so many minutes available with the hearts and everything that you really can just buffoon your way to victory here. Basically, wait till you're about 4 meters to go past the 3 meter barrier. Roll around here till about 10 and then grab the broken heart up here. It'll disappear at 12, so you might as well use it and then charge around there. And then really just work your way around the islands. There's not much to it. When you get to 200, the other broken heart's over on this island. And then just charge around and work your way up, and you will be victorious. There's only 12 items, too, which is surprising for such a big level. Nickel is the only thing in the first area. He's over here by the TV store. When you cross the 3 meter barrier, you want to go a little left here on the road to get the pachinko sign, and then look for this car that's got a bunch of people on it. One of them is the candidate. The first present is back on the school by the 3 meter barrier. You need to be at least 6 to jump up high enough to get up there and get it. Ryu will be in this town as well on top of these wrestling rings. And when you get big enough to pick up buildings here, you can get the boiler room, which is right next to the bathhouse. It's like a small adjacent building. And then the shrine hut, which is out there next to the shrine in the ocean. Continue forward around the back here of the islands, and you'll find this small little weird looking island. The violet tree and the cherry blossom tree are right there as well, so make sure you get those. Cousin number 2 will be popping around the Loch Ness Monster here by the waterfall. Cousin number 3 is Norn. You got to be past the 60-meter barrier. He pops up out of the oasis here. And then the final present 2, comes out of is on top of the volcano there in the crater. So Make the Moon is pretty much just the world level from the original game, so you'll recognize it if you played it. Get this line of pineapples and peaches at first, and then drop into the lower town. You want to stay here till 3 meters, and then pretty much go through the 3-meter barrier right then. Run around here to about 5 or 6, and then back down to the lower town, then back to the upper. You can go back and forth for a little bit. Around 9 meters, you can pick up trees. At 11, you get these mushrooms, and then buildings. And once you start getting buildings, you want to leave at about 20 meters and head over to this town to get these signs that are always disappearing on me. Once you run through that first town, go back to the beginning and pick up all the rest of the buildings. And then go back where you were and roll around to the stadium. That'll take you to 80 or 90, where you can go over the 60-meter barrier, drop down and run that line of towns and islands until the soccer stadium, and you'll be around 200 meters. From there, just head towards the middle of the map, picking up islands and whatever else you can. You got plenty of time. You should be all right. And then you'll get bigger and bigger. Around 400, you'll level up, and you can pick up almost everything. About 600, you can pick up the mountains. And you should be around 800 when you're done. 21 items in Make the Moon that we got to get. Let's see how fast we can do it. The giant peach is right here on the ring right when you start. At the entrance to the schoolyard with the 3-meter barrier, there's a sign right here on the wall. Then the first cousin is inside the schoolyard. You really want to be about 5.5 to avoid getting bonked by the watermelons and stuff. The second cousin is actually down here by the pond, but you got to be about 6 meters to get him. So make sure you come back when you're that side. And then in the upper town, on one of the spinning platforms, you'll see a minute hand, hour hand, 3, 6, 9, and 12. Make sure you get all of those. The first present is up here in the upper town as well, and it's a real pain in the butt to get. You got to get right next to the smokestack. Try to be small so this moving building doesn't get you, and then roll all the way up the ladder. It's on top of the smokestack. It will disappear by the time you're big enough to roll up the smokestack. So you've got to do it this way. As soon as you get big enough to pick up buildings, head up to the school that's high, that's overlooking the park there. Drop down in there and you'll get the candy store, the butcher store, and one other store. On your smaller trip to this little town, there's a bar sign right here. And there's a couple other signs too. I suggest you get them all. Then when you go back, you'll see a building called the Inn. That is the one that's nestled in the beach right here when you're about 45 meters. On your second trip to this town, you'll be big enough to pick up the circus arch. It's floating around, held up by balloons. You need to be about 60 meters. As long as we're talking about that, let's talk about the second present. Right here, there's a jumbo man that circles around. And you want to get him. He'll bonk into you and drop the present. And you should be able to get that. You can get that at 30 meters or 60. Either way is fine. And then the rest are really big in this level. Get the demo island, which is in the crater of Whale Mountain, the big one right here. Get the Takeda residence, and the way you find that is go to the Rainbow Island, point at the Onis, and go about halfway out and turn left. It is a whole island size, not just a house. So, and then Pigeon Town is out here too. I never did find it, but I always get it. So it's out here somewhere. And that's it for Make the Moon. Okay, now we're getting into some more unique levels here. We're going to do the Katamari Sprinkler. Basically, your Katamari is a watering can. It will periodically run out and have to be refilled with water, and you're just trying to bring vegetation to the desert. So the route I use is to shoot out here and try to pop as many trees up as I can, so I don't get bonked around when I don't want to. When I get to about 30%, just jump up here in the first area and unlock this water filling station. Clean out that area, top it off, drop back down, and spend the next tank of water running around the front area. Either jump up in the oasis or go back to the beginning to get another tank, and then shoot around to the back, pop these last 3 trees, and jump up to the upper area, at which point you want to prioritize getting around the bend and back to this third water filling area before you go empty. If you do that, clean out the top area as best you can, fill up again, and drop back down. There's basically one more line around the back that you can get, and then spend the rest of the level shooting back and forth around the starting area, filling up when you need to. Since you're not really picking anything up, items are pretty easy here. There's 2 cousins and 2 presents. The first cousin is up here on the first oasis. The first present is over here on the second oasis. The second cousin is on top of one of these statues up here as well. You have to have like maybe 1,200 or so meters water to jump up there and get them. And the second present is in the starting area. Animals will pop up as you water the desert. and the present is on one of those animals. And that's it for the sprinkler. So the race is next. It's really hard to give you a route because you don't get to control your Katamari. I like to stay right on the road until I'm 2 meters and can pick up these tires on the barrier. And then I kind of explore the stands, the farm, the little water area in the middle, and then go backwards around the track because I'm big enough to not get bumped around. The broken heart you want to get as late as possible before it disappears. I usually get excited and get it around 6 meters, and it takes me to like 9. But pretty much other than that, once you get to 9, you can go anywhere on the level and just try to pick up what you can. As for items, there's only 4, and so that's kind of easy. There's 2 cousins, a present, and 1 unique item. Drive is on the track, looks like a car, so that's easy. Fujio is up in the center house in the center area here. And the present, you got to be about 10 at least to get. It's up here on top of the tanker, the big boat in the water. The surprise peony is the only unique item. There's a guy driving around this little sub road that runs around the farm and the center island. And one of their wheels is a surprise peony. The other's a giant lotus leaf. And that is it for race. All right, we're up to danger. Make a star danger. There's not much of a route when you're smaller. Just run around here to 400 and then get the stuff off the islands, just like the other areas. The broken heart's floating around on a whale. When you're about 1,000 kilometers, you want to grab that. When you hit 3,000, though, you get to the country map or the world map. And this can be tricky if you don't have a plan. Basically, you want to look for the little hexagons at first, like mountain ranges, the Amazon, the Himalayas, the Sahara Desert, that kind of thing. That'll get you big enough to pick up smaller countries, and knowledge of geography does help here. Europe's got smaller countries. Central America and the Caribbean have smaller countries. Some Asian countries, like around India, would help. Then you can pick up bigger ones like in Africa, and ultimately you'll get to where you can pick up the biggest countries, United States, Russia, Antarctica, that sort of thing. At 10,000, you'll be up on the top, and then you just enjoy yourself for the next couple of minutes rolling around picking up stars. And that's it for danger. Items are pretty easy too. There's only 4. The Azuki building is in the starting area by the airport at the tail of the dinosaur. Opio is by the ice octopus out here by the ice islands that I love to pick up. Drewby is when you get a little bigger. He's in one of the islands by the clouds. And then the present in this level is at the largest area floating around in the stars. Okay, this brings us to our final level in the Roboking's Cosmos and the final level in this video. This is Farewell. Farewell's timed a little differently than normal. You start with 1 minute and you get 1 additional minute for each broken heart that you hit. The route is not too bad. Just get a head start by picking up these white ones till you're about 150. Then roll up the ramp, get the first broken heart. Stay right here on the left arm and get the blue tiles until you get to about 300, and then jump across the chest and get the second broken heart over here on the right arm. From there, stick to the right arm a little bit, and then head down and pick up the smaller pink tiles on the thighs of Roboking, and then roll up this ramp and get the third broken heart. From here, it's a good idea to head around the outside. You can pick up the outer gates here, the barriers and screwdrivers. That'll get you up around 500, and then just sort of pick your way through, picking up tiles. It will get easier as you go until about 750, at which point you want to jump to the king's head and pick up the fourth broken heart. This will expose the core, and you can just kind of roll around and avoid the core as long as you can. Make sure you pick it up to end the level, though. If you don't pick it up, you will fail. So 1,400 is about as many Cosmos as you can get. As for items, every Roboking part is unique to this level. So if you're missing a Roboking part, it's right here. I'm not going to list each one specifically, but they're all in here. In addition, there are 6 unique items as well. That's 2 cousins, 3 presents, and the new driver's sign. So Columbo's easy. They're over here on the vacuum cleaner. Present 1 is on the turtle's back by the second broken heart. Present 2 is floating around on the sand castle. Present 3 is in the crown of the king. The new driver's sign is right up here on the king's left shoulder. It's right by the core, though, so make sure you're really big when you come over and go carefully unless you want to accidentally end the level. That leaves Moo, which is the last item we're going to get in this video and the hardest cousin to get in the game. So the first thing you got to do to get Moo is get the last broken heart over here by the head. At that point, a Haniwa will spawn, and you want to grab that. And then look down here, you'll see some sandals, or a sandal. From there, once you get that, a recorder will spawn over here at the other side. then a piece of fluff up here, and then finally an emblem right up here at the top. And once you get the emblem, Moo will finally appear on this level. It'll be down here at the end of Roboking's feet. Moo is very black though, so it's hard to see sometimes, but once you get him, that'll be it. And that's going to do it for this segment, or this video. I'd like to keep them to 15 or 20 minutes, and we're right in there. So we're going to go ahead and stop. In the next installment, we'll go ahead and do as much of the King's Cosmos as we can, and then we'll do our Speed Platinum run. So thanks for watching this, and we'll see you in the next video. In the meantime, stay bad, people. Non-Gone is gone.